Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading for the week of October 27th. This week, you have this card that says it's time to release negativity. You also have this card that says believe in the impossible. Yes, definitely. With Neptune in your opposite sign, Pisces, definitely a good time for believing in the impossible. That's literally what Neptune and Pisces wants us to do. It wants us to believe that we can accomplish something that we don't think we can, or to accomplish the impossible dream, the impossible goal, whatever it is. And you might be saying, Chris, you just said that it was impossible. But the secret is it's not really impossible with Neptune and Pisces. Plus, we have like the blessing of Saturn also being in Pisces at exactly the same time. And they're basically going to leave at exactly the same time almost. One in January, one in February of next year. So we have a little bit of time here. And the beautiful thing is that we only have to take like one tiny little step. You only have to get started. You don't have to actually accomplish the impossible during this time. You just have to take the first step, right? And so I would, you being a Virgo, I definitely feel it's like, this energy is mostly beneficial to you and Pisces. So I would be taking advantage of it for sure. You have the Ten of Cups, the Three of Pentacles, and the Knight of Swords coming up in the area of your current general energies. Ten of Cups is definitely a dream. They're dreaming of these 10 cups above their heads here. I always say the trick with the Ten of Cups is they have to bring that dream down to earth. So, it's a very good card, but, sometimes the Ten of Cups can say that you're kind of getting high on your own supply here, Virgo, that you could just be, gassing up an idea. You could just be thinking about it, but you're not actually doing it. So I do feel it is time to, bring something down to earth. The Ten of Cups is also very good for love, and you do have the Two of Cups here. So if you're looking for a connection, this could be like happy home, happy family. On top of all that, this is like fortune after difficulty. So a lot of you could actually be experiencing some benefits over the next few months. I do kind of feel that the end of the year here is probably going to be pretty good for you, Virgo. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect. We're definitely not in a perfect time. But for the most part, I do feel you're going to probably enjoy these last couple months more than you have all year. And so, I don't know. It kind of feels good to me. It feels like a little bit of a lighter energy. And, I think you have a great opportunity to set yourself up for the future. Definitely with that Saturn energy, I would be working on something that, could potentially support you for a long time. I am, right? I am also, I hate when people say, do as I say, not as I do. I do these things that I talk about, right? So being a Pisces, Saturn in my sign, finally leaving after 3 years in the beginning of the year, it's like I'm taking advantage of this energy and working on long-term projects, not things that will necessarily make me successful overnight, but things that will hopefully make me successful, for years to come, right? And we really have to have that long-term thinking because that's what will work right now. You have the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles, of course, says teamwork makes the dream work. But I think for you, Virgo, it's pretty simple. It's time for Virgo to put their work on display. I say this to you. I think I've been saying this to you for like 6 months. You have things inside of you need to let out. It's pretty simple. And I feel if you put those things on display, that you will be very happy that you did. You will probably be received better than you think as well. It's time for Virgo to, speak their mind. I think it's time for Virgo to, and I know I'm speaking generally here, but this is for in all areas of your life. It's about, kind of like saying what you really want. Excuse me. It's about speaking up, saying what you really want, putting things out into the world and potentially opening yourselves up for criticism and things like that. But again, he's not getting criticism. He's getting support for what he has built, and he's done a good job. And, the funny thing about the Three of Pentacles, we have this fire triangle right here and a water triangle right here. The water triangle says he went like just a little bit above and beyond what he was supposed to do. So he over-delivered like just a little bit on the project that he is completing. But again, what's popping into my head for you is that that little bit, that water triangle for you, Virgo, could be like your own unique twist that you put on the things that you're working on. And you could finally be getting the credit you deserve. And that's kind of what I feel with this Three of Pentacles. You have the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords is charging forward in a direction. You also have the Chariot. I've been seeing a lot of Knight of Swords coming up at the end of the year here, even in the readings I just did, from the end of the year readings I just did. Like everybody had the Knight of Swords. We do have a Mercury retrograde next month in November. We're actually in the shadow right now at the time of you watching this video. And what I would say is I don't think we should necessarily rush, but I do think that it's an amazing time to build momentum. And I think an easy way to build momentum is if you're working on a project, you give yourself like a certain amount that you are going to complete every single day, no matter what, right? And, just to give you a little preview here, it's like I'm working on a new project right now. I have been for a little bit of time. And that's exactly what I'm doing, is I'm just doing a certain amount of work that I have set that I do every single day, no matter what, right? And it's just that simple. I do the same thing with this channel every single day, no matter what. I do 4 videos, right? And that's how I've posted a ridiculous amount of videos on YouTube. So, kind of keeping that momentum going, I think is going to be very important with the Knight of Swords. The other word that I feel something else here with the Knight of Swords, that you are repelling things. That word just popped into my head at the end there, which I actually think is good. As in, it's like you could be changing, and this might be pushing people or things away from you, but I feel this is a good thing. Like, it popped into my head as like, this is positive for Virgo. So if you are repelling things, I actually think it actually means that you're getting into alignment with what you actually want. So not bad. With the Ten of Cups, you have the Hangman. It's like you can only look at something for so long. The Hangman, he's looking at something upside down. He is the card of gaining a new perspective. And I feel you've been looking at a dream or, something you want to create in your life for a very long time. But the Hangman is kind of like, okay, you've gained your enlightenment, you've gained an understanding, and now it's time to make a move. With the Three of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Swords. Yeah, you have the Queen of Swords twice, here and here. Queen of Swords has her back to the past. So she is focused on the future, and she's also gaining clarity for the first time. So you could be gaining a lot of clarity right now. And it does, I think I said this in the last set of readings I did, that this Mercury retrograde definitely seems to be one of those retrogrades that could be bringing in a lot of clarity. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Ace of Wands. It's like, this is just grabbing onto something. This type of energy. The Ace of Wands can be exciting. The Ace of Wands can be excitement returning to your life, or, exciting opportunities returning to your life. And the Ace of Wands is about, and also the Knight of Swords, this would be about using that excitement to create the momentum. I've done this a million times in my life, where I get excited about something, I don't get started, and then I never do whatever I got excited about because the excitement goes away, right? So I feel there could be like an exciting opportunity, exciting idea, exciting something coming in for you. And I think you really need to grab on to those ideas that excite you and start right away, because that is probably what will push you forward and will keep the momentum going here. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Crown Safaka card. It says femininity, attentiveness, and group accord. You have this Komodo dragon. It says ferocity, survival instincts, and revolutionary change. So there definitely could be a big change. I mean, literally, Uranus in Gemini is revolutionary change. And, we have Uranus in Gemini until like the middle of next month. It's going to retrograde into Taurus, but still, it's already entered into Gemini, and it'll be there until 2033. And so I think we are in a time of big changes, or making revolutionary changes in our lives. You have the Three of Swords, the Four of Swords, and the Six of Swords. Three of Swords can represent healing, and I'm pretty sure I've said this to you a million times before, Virgo, that with the South Node in your sign, it is a pretty good time to heal, and like basically anything that you've been through. The Three of Swords is about, sometimes we have to do it on our own, and so it can be a card of forgiveness, for example, but you don't necessarily have to forgive a person directly. You can just forgive them in your heart and move on, right? So I do feel it is a good time for kind of like leaving things in the past for you, Virgo, doing those extra healing things, releasing blockages as well comes up. You have the Four of Swords next. The Four of Swords, and you have the Chariot. The Chariot is about like just charging right through something, like running it over. The Four of Swords is a little more subtle, and the Four of Swords is a good card for kind of like moving past a blockage or eliminating something that is a block. So any blockage work that you want to do is definitely popping into my head with this Three of Swords. Like I almost just feel the Three of Swords in your reading is more talking about openness, and like I don't even feel it's only your heart. Like that could be part of it, but I think like open-mindedness, being open to new ideas. And so removing blockages, usually if we're not open, it's because we have some sort of blockage that we need to heal. You have the Four of Swords. Again, I get a very subtle healing energy here. I would never say that on the Four of Swords, so that's kind of weird. But, I get this more, kind of like you're just like healing on your own. I don't really have any good examples for you, Virgo, other than, it's like sometimes, I'm sure you've all seen it, where someone talks about how they've healed from the person that cheated on them, but then they go on to tell you the story for like 4 hours about how this person did all these horrible things. It's like, well, clearly you're not really actually healed, right? So, I don't know, I feel like there's like a true healing going on. With the Four of Swords, it's like a little more subtle in the sense that you don't have to tell anyone about it. It's like if you're truly healed, the result would speak for itself. Like people would just see it, that you are different, right? And there's something in that for you. I feel like you are doing that, though. I don't really feel this is something that I need to say. I feel that's what you're doing. You're doing something behind the scenes, and I feel people will be able to see it. You have the Six of Swords. Six of Swords, of course, is moving on to calmer shores. I feel like you are one of the signs that is just trying to make life easier. I said this in the beginning of the year in the 2025 readings, that 2025 would be a year of ease. And that does not mean an easy year. What I meant and what I said in those readings is that 2025 would actually be kind of challenging in some ways, but we are all being pushed to make things easier. That does not, like I said, that does not mean it actually will be easier. It just means that we are going to be looking for better solutions, better ways of doing things. And that might actually mean things get harder because sometimes the universe has to, trigger us into doing things that make our life easier, right? The universe, if you're like me, then the universe has to bop you on the head a couple of times because you're stubborn. And, I totally understand that, Virgo. But, I think for a lot of you that you could be looking for ways to make things smoother and not so much of a struggle. And I feel that would be an amazing thing for you to work on. With the Three of Swords, yes, you have the Six of Wands. Your results will speak for themselves. I think I said this to you recently as well. But, he is having a victory, and these people are celebrating him. But his results speak for themselves. He has nothing to prove. He has nothing, it's like he did what he said he would do, And I feel there's something in that for you, Virgo. Like a lot of you could be getting to that place where you're just like, no, there's, you don't have to tell anyone anything. It just, your results speak for themselves. That's the best way I can put it. And I think this is a good thing. With the Four of Swords, you have the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, feeling left out in the cold. This could be what you're healing from. The Five of Pentacles has a very easy solution. All we have to do is call attention to our strengths, not our weaknesses. We have to focus on our strengths and the things that we're good at. And that's it. We just have to double down on those things. And that could be like part of your healing with the Five of Pentacles, right? And, it's kind of like a hard thing to do, but, it's like if someone cheated on you, for example, it's like maybe you need to tell yourself that you're the type of person that has so much love to give that you can love a cheater, right? It's like, it's about not beating yourself up about it in the first place, but also kind of like reframing it. And, not being like, oh, everybody cheats on me. Just being like, I have so much love to give that I can love a person like that. And, I think reframing that allows you to find someone who's better. And so, that's just one example. There are millions that go into that. With the Six of Swords, you have the King of Pentacles. Yeah, I do feel like we have to be careful playing it safe right now. It's kind of a tricky time with risk because I think we have to take risk right now, but if we take risks that are going to hurt us, obviously that's going to be a bad thing. And so I think the trick with the King of Pentacles is my 80-20 rule, which is like 80% of the time, just do what works in, all areas of your life. But, 20% of the time, try something new. That way, you're still doing enough of what works and, you're not going to get hurt. by anything, but you're also not playing it so safe that you keep yourself stuck like on a plateau, right? That is always the danger with the King of Pentacles. He's not really a bad card. He's a card of wealth building, but he can get stuck just in kind of coasting, right? And again, there's not really anything necessarily wrong with that. Like if you were making $1 million a day, would it really be bad to coast at $1 million a day? Probably not. But, what happens if things change and then all of a sudden you're making $1 a day? It's like that's the danger that he can run into. It's like he can have something good, but because he's coasting, he never learns anything new. And, that I would just make sure that you're learning something new with that card. Make sure to leave a comment. Really helps me out, by the way, Virgo. Next, we're going to look at messages from your future self. You have this Chiron card. It says heal on it. You have the 7th house. It says relationship on it. You could be healing your relationship to basically anything with these two cards. It doesn't, for some of you, it's love. I definitely feel Virgo, since like 2023 has been healing love in their life. And you've probably had many experiences that have caused you to heal that. We've talked about it many times before. And so, the good news is you're coming to an end of that healing, and I feel you're finally setting yourself free from that. You have the Queen of Cups, the Chariot, and the Devil. The Queen of Cups is about healing your heart, of course, which I think would be a good thing for you to do. Queen of Cups follows her heart. She does what her heart tells her to do. And, I think everybody is at this time because of Uranus and Taurus. This will be the last time Uranus is in Taurus in our lifetime, basically. So, Uranus and Taurus wants us to be free. To be truly free, we have to live from our heart. And the Queen, this is like your last chance. The last little time where you can do that. You have the Chariot. The Chariot can be a victory, a success, charging forward. I do kind of feel like some obstacles you're just charging through with the Chariot. You're just going to overcome them very quickly and move very quickly as well, which is good. Sometimes I think we can have those wake up moments where we're like, what am I afraid of? All of a sudden where we just overcome something. I do feel like some of you could be having some of those moments, not even just this week, but, between now and the beginning of the year. I feel you could be having some of those moments where you just overcome something very quickly. And it could be a sudden healing or something like that. The Chariot is also a victory. We have the 6 of Wands, going this way. 6 of Wands, Chariot to the Wheel of Fortune. Could be a very fortunate victory coming in here, Virgo, so I do like to see that. You have the Devil. I think this could be some things that you're healing from. I feel like Virgos, it's like you're skipping ahead, is the energy I get here. I wish I had a good a good thing to tell you for that as well. It's like sometimes I think people, it's like in relationships, I'll just use that as an example. It's like they have a bad relationship. They try to do something in the next relationship from preventing that bad thing from happening. But it's like if you skip ahead, it's like you can realize that there's nothing you can do to be able to prevent that thing from happening. So it's almost like you evolve past it, And I get this evolving past issues with the Devil. It's not about, it's like you can still protect yourself from things, but it's about the realization that there is sometimes we can't prevent bad things from happening, and so we can kind of go one level past it and not worry about it, but also pay attention. And that's what it seems like you're doing. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I would say here with the Devil. Because sometimes it's those things that we try to do to protect ourselves in a relationship are exactly the reason why the relationship will end. I'm just using that as an example. This could be any area of your life. I see this in business as well, where it's people try to do things to protect the business, maybe they stop advertising or whatever, and then ultimately that's exactly what hurts the business. And so, I don't know, it's almost like you're skipping something. I hope that makes sense. With the Queen of Cups, you have the Strength card. Yeah, like I said, right here, 5 of Pentacles to the Strength card. Doubling down on what you're good at is going to be important, focusing on your strengths. The Strength card, I think, in your reading is saying that you're ready to move forward. The Strength card, she has tamed her inner voice, that lion. The voice that tells her she can't do something or she shouldn't do something, and she is the one that's in control. With the Chariot, you have the 9 of Pentacles. Yes. I think that's what I was trying to say with the devil. The Nine of Pentacles is saying you can get to a place in your life where you are in control without taking control. The way to do that is to just become the thing that you want to be. And I know that's a crazy concept, right? But, it's like sometimes I think if we just are the energy that we want, we can, it's like what we can have is unlimited. What we can create, there really are no limits. So the Nine of Pentacles is about, creating the environment of success around you before you have the things that you want. And, I think that's what you could be doing here with the Nine of Pentacles. I said something about repelling as well earlier on that Knight of Swords. It's like I think when we're truly in that energy of only focusing on what we want, but we also have the support underneath it, then we do repel the things that would be wrong. For example, in relationships, people tell me all the time, well, I have to pay attention and worry about cheating. I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. But it's like, if you have a bunch of skills built under that, then you really have nothing to worry about because you will repel a cheater. And, I don't know, I could talk about this for hours. I have a lot of thoughts about this, but it's like, I think that's the problem with manifestation is people think they just have to think about the energy of what they want, but really it's about also developing the habits, the mindset, the energy around you, the, filling your head with good ideas. That's the support below it. And the Nine of Pentacles, I feel sometimes is about more focusing on that, on focusing on developing, the parts of yourself that would repel that in the first place and would also attract the good things, right? So there you go. With the Devil, you have the Queen of Pentacles. Some of you could be attracting Capricorn. I mean, Capricorn Virgo is a good match. So if you are looking for love, you could be attracting, or maybe you already have another Earth sign. We have Taurus here as well. So, and I think Earth comes up for you quite a bit. So you could be attracting an Earth sign if you want love. Next, what do you know? You have this Koi Fish card. It says, you're manifesting more love, prosperity, and wealth into your life. Yes. So you're definitely manifesting. You have this Crow Spirit. It says, you'll soon receive news that will bring some blessed experiences into your life. So there could be some blessed experiences coming in for you. It definitely looks like it. Six of Wands, Chariot, Wheel of Fortune. Definitely could be attracting some, blessings or blessed experiences in your life. So love it. You have the Queen of Swords, the Two of Cups, and the Wheel of Fortune. Queen of Swords is ultimate clarity in the good stuff. So you are definitely attracting clarity. Like I said, maybe you are understanding what I don't understand that I'm trying to describe in this reading. It's like maybe you do understand that on some level, and you're changing your life because of it. You have the Two of Cups. Two of Cups is like a perfect match, so definitely could be a perfect match for those of you that want it. But again, I think it's because you have the, if this is love, I think it's because you have those habits, the mindset, everything is kind of working together here. And if it's not yet, that's okay too. I think you have plenty of time to, develop this mindset, to develop that, that energy around you. The Two of Cups is also you and your higher self. So, and we are in a very spiritual time with Neptune retrograding in Pisces. So, in being your opposite sign, I would definitely be paying attention to sign symbols, synchronicities, your dreams, your daydreams, the messages you receive, all that. You have the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune can be a change in your fortunes, so definitely could be some sort of change in your fortunes here. Seems to me like there is. I don't usually say that with the Wheel of Fortune because with the Wheel of Fortune, I think we are the one that has to create the change in fortunes. It's not just like something that magically happens, but you have the Six of Wands and the Chariot, and that Nine of Pentacles there. So there could be some sort of fortunate turn of events coming in for you with the Wheel of Fortune, which is very good. I would also be paying attention to cycles with the Wheel of Fortune, but it looks positive. With the Queen of Swords, you have the Chariot, charging forward. I do feel a lot of you are completely moving past the past because, again, Queen of Swords at the end, she has her back to the entire reading. So she is leaving that behind. The Chariot is leaving the city behind him. He is completely moving in a new direction. With the Two of Cups, you have the Queen of Cups again. So we have repeating cards here at the end. Repeating cards are confirmation for your path. They're like confirmation for what you're doing. And the Queen of Cups can be about living a more heart-based life. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Two of Swords. This could be you finally making a decision on something. So if you've been having a hard time making a choice or a decision in your life, you could finally be making a decision, which is good. You have this jug. It says lighthearted, carefree time. Yeah, all the readings at the end of the year here have had like the Page of Wands, Knight of Wands. You don't, but you have this card here. And I feel the people, I think I've said it to you before that it's about embracing that like happy-go-lucky energy, being more happy-go-lucky, being willing to just go on an adventure. You have this clouds card. It says temporary problems. Queen of Swords is a good card, but she still has those clouds like halfway up her body. And, I think right now what you should do is make sure that tiny little obstacles that pop up don't stop you from making success. I think again, I'm pretty sure I said this in the end of the year readings that I just did, that the end of the year, it just seems to me like there could be those little, it's like, sometimes you start something and something pops up and it makes you quit or makes you stop doing what you were doing. I feel those are the things that we have to push past. Those are the things we have to push through. You have this door. It says opportunities are waiting for you. Clearly, a lot of opportunities. Chariot could be like charging through a door. It's if there is a small little obstacle you have to overcome, it would just be about not even knocking. Like I wouldn't knock on this door. I would just kick it in and blast right into it. You have this bell card. It says announcement on it. Yes, there could be an exciting announcement, probably one that you're making. So there you go. You have this lily. It says spiritual love. Yeah, it does look to me like it's a spiritual connection. Again, there's no middle to it. It is the best way I could tell you how I feel about it. It's like some relationships are down here, some are here, some are here. But like I said, skip. It's like you're skipping something. I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. Why do people watch me? I have no clue, but because I never know. But there's something about this skipping thing that I'm seeing in my head. So there you go. This looks good. Make sure to leave a comment. Really helps me out. And definitely enjoy your week.